What is up, and welcome to the follow-up with me, Dan Tom, analyst and writer for MMALatestNews.com. This is the episode where we break down post-technical UFC action in reference to my analysis articles that I put out with MMALatestNews.com. If you can't find them there, I have all the past and upcoming ones listed on my site, which is affiliated. That's MixedMartialAnalyst.com. It's the same content that I'll be putting out through MMA Latest. And that's what we'll be going off here. We'll be skipping the main event, and we'll be just giving you our picks and plays and how we did there. The main event actually went awful lot like how I predicted as far as my analysis. Again, you can find at the cited sites for Henderson Masvidal. We had Ben Henderson by decision. That's what happened, but more importantly, the analysis as far as how I called their games and what you can expect to see. Was correct, and thankfully so, because as a fan, we really got to see, no matter who you were rooting for, we got to see high-level MMA. That's what I was excited about. That's what I predicted. That's what we got to see. But we're just going to go into my picks, which I measure my official picks by the fights that I actually break down. I usually do the main card, and I'll try to take one or two from the prelims to highlight for the prelim action. Okay, so for the prelim action, I took Bang over Kuntz. That was a split decision. I know there was a lot of gambling talk on that one, but it didn't necessarily come to fruition, did it? Because Bang won. If that was a fixed fight, then he did it like Bruce Willis from Pulp Fiction, right? And Casey versus Ham. Excellent fight by the ladies. I had Casey. She did not win. Justfully so. I believe Ham took that unanimous decision. But I did predict it would be a fight of the night worthy, as it was. A sleeper for that. Main card, I had Choi over Cecilia. Great action there. Mina versus Akiyama. We had Akiyama by decision. It was Mina by split decision. A close fight that could have gone either way. I don't argue with the decision, however. It's just one of those things. It's round stealing, you know. Guys can be doing well the whole round and control most of the fight, but if they lose two ends of two of the rounds, oftentimes it's enough to win them the decision. As seen here. Next was Kim Waters. That was quick. Kim won. And then, of course, we mentioned we had Henderson as decision. For our recommended picks and plays, we went perfect. Despite going 4-2 in official picks, for our recommended picks and plays, we went perfect. In that section, if you look, we'll be breaking down first by fantasy MMA. I'll give you top tier picks. In other words, guys who cost a lot but are probably worth it. And low tier picks, which it might be mid tier, but I just say low tier because we're focusing on mainly dogs there. The way these games are set up, they're going to force you to pick guys you necessarily wouldn't pick. Or as you see in mine often is the case, you're going to see names that I go against in my official picks. But for games like this where you have to take into account what could happen as opposed to what you think can happen, because that's the trick, right? It's what could happen to what we think. It's trying to find that fine balance. You have to look at dogs for your low tier pick. Dogs, you think that can come through. We did well there. So for our high tier, I recommended Choi. If you got him, you got a first round knockout. That's a lot of points. That's Choi over Cecilia. And then I recommended Kim, Dong Young Kim. He went inside the distance first round. That would have scored you a lot and been worth your penny. And Ben Henderson, although he didn't get a finish, he was in a 5-round main event. I like to get 5-rounders in there because they can score all the points, and he did. He got some knockdowns, some takedowns, and he got 5 rounds of action for points if he took Henderson. Low tier, Mike De La Torre. That was probably the tightest match on the card. That was tough. I officially went with Nam, but really it could have gone either way, which meant De La Torre was going to be on the low tier for your fantasy. Mine anyways. And Dong Yi Yang, who I thought should have been a slight favorite, but I get it with activity and non-UFC success, but really he was a tough southpaw with a good wrestling base, and that proved to be a problem as he got a second round finish. Would have scored you if you got him there. Mina, again, split decision. He did get that knockdown and that crazy flurry at round 2. Not sure how many points he would have got you, but a correct recommendation on our end, seeing that he did win. Picks for your parlay. This is more for the gaming side. Pieces for your parlays. Guys, I recommend, I don't like to use the L word as a lock, but guys, I recommend you throw in if you're looking to build a sturdy parlay. Choi came through again. Bang came through. And Henderson were the 3 I recommended. All came through. That takes us to props. I went 2 and 3 the past 2 cards on props, which is really good. This one I only recommended 2 props instead of 3. I only really felt strong about 2, as both those hit. That was Choi by KO, not inside the distance. I said specifically by KO, and if you read my analysis, it's why. I picked that, and Kim inside the distance because, again, I wasn't sure if he was going to find a submission he liked or a TKO, but I was pretty certain Kim was going to make a statement against the shortcoming replacement, Dominic Waters. If that came true. Again, not only do I have the pick record to prove it, anybody can pick things, it's the analysis. My analysis backs up why I thought this and explains that further, so I'm not just throwing darts in the dark. Fights to avoid is the last section. Those are fights just kind of to be careful about anyways because they're either tight and they'll probably break your parlays. And that was Nam versus Delator, Sexyama versus Alberto Mina, and Jake Collier versus Dong Yi Yang. Now, all those guys were also on my low-tier picks because, as I explained, even though they may be fights to avoid or I officially pick against these guys, when you're looking to plug those holes in your roster for those low-tier with the money you have left in your roster bank for any kind of fantasy MMA you play, you have to look at the dogs that could possibly upset. Whether you think they will or not, you have to look at possibilities, right? All right, so that was it. We went perfect for that. I hope you followed along. I hope you made some money, and I really, really hope you share this and follow along for my next ones. I'll be having all my analysis, as usual, coming out through MMALatestNews.com. We're going to have a big weekend in December, okay? I'm probably going to try to get all the main cards minus the tough stuff covered for you guys, and there's plenty to pick off the bottom for high-interest fights. If you want to recommend any that you want particularly broken down for December, anything in particular you're afraid I might not get at me on Twitter. Any recommendations for the show, get at me on Twitter. That's at the MMAnalyst. All right? Anything else further coming up? Check out MMALatestNews.com for all your upcoming news in the world of MMA. On that note, have a good holidays. Protect your neck.